Welcome to Talking Synths number 83, coming to you from beautiful downtown New Braunfels, Texas. I'm Sam.
I'm Carlos.
And we're from Syntaur, syntaur.com, the place to get all your keyboard and synthesizer goodies. So today, we're going to sit here with this new thing from Kurzweil, the K2700. We've waited a long time for this.
Yeah, I think maybe 6 months, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure as everyone knows with the pandemic and the shipping container shortage, you know, it's made logistics somewhat more complicated. I think the only keyboard that we waited for longer would be the Nord Stage 3, the
right.
88.
Yeah.
And I think we ordered that one over a year ago. We ordered two.
Yeah, we got one.
And the other one is just kind of MIA.
Wow.
But nonetheless, glad to have it here. Glad that it made it.
Yeah, it's a great keyboard, and yeah, I thought it'd be fun to sit down with it and just show people what it sounds like. But first, let's talk about a change or two that we're making. So with Talking Synths, we've always had this notion of every odd number episode is going to be out there for the public. Every even number episode will be for our Patreon patrons. And we've decided to make a little shift in that strategy. So we're going to change, let's see how we say this. We're not going to do Patreon only editions of Talking Synths. So every Talking Synths will be public, and it'll be every other week. But in place of that, our Patreon page is mainly set up for synth wizards, and so we thought instead of giving them just another podcast, we'll gear that channel toward more synth wizards kind of stuff. So we'll replace the Talking Synths Patreon editions with kind of background info on synth wizards and what's happening, and maybe little snippets of upcoming episode that we're working on.
Works in progress.
Yeah.
Luke, do you know how many episodes we're working on right now? By chance? Two.
But with some others gathering steam in the idea stage and scripting stage.
There's just always something cooking.
Yeah.
There really is. And I would say that the two that we're working on are probably the ones that have the most traction. But there are definitely outside Talking Synths beyond those two that are actively moving forward.
Yeah. And another thing we thought we'd put on our Patreon page is, like, we have so much footage that goes into making each episode, and a lot of it gets chopped. And some of it's pretty good stuff. It ends up not really being relevant, or maybe a little too technical for this episode or whatever. So we have a lot of unused stuff like that, and then we thought, well, let's start putting that on our Patreon page for the people that signed up to support Synth Wizards. So I think it'd be a good move, a good change, and hope everyone on Patreon will be happy with it.
Do you remember if there were any string machine demos that didn't make the episode? I feel like we did so many of them.
Well, one that came to mind right after we finished the episode was like, we have the Soviet Tom, I can't remember, I think it has a number that goes with it, TOM. They
501?
I think so. Yeah. So we had some footage of that, and why didn't it make it in? I don't know, just kind of slipped through the cracks somehow. So yeah, things like that would be perfect for putting on the Patreon page. And then another thing we've been talking about forever, and we finally want to implement it, is getting some performances going in the showroom. And so about a month from now, we have the first one on the books. And Kenneth, who's our sales guy, but who also just got a record deal and does a lot of performing on his own with his little one-man setup with drum machines and
loopers and just an assortment of instruments. Really.
Yeah, it's got some cool stuff. So we'll have him do a performance in our showroom. And what I'd like to see eventually is that we have these on a regular basis, and they're free, and anyone that's in the neighborhood or the area that wants to come by and see some synths in action. And the other cool thing that we're planning for those is it's not just a performance. It's not like, all right, I'm going to a club and I'm going to watch a band play. It's going to be a synthesizer-based performance with a built-in section for, hey, here's how I did some of this stuff. Here's the stuff I'm using, and then kind of explain what they're going through, and then have a kind of Q&A session if people want to get more information. So seems like a fun format. Yeah. And I'm excited to finally try it out. So all right, so that's what's coming up. And so now let's dig into this K2700. This all started, this lineage, back with the K2000, right?
Or the KSP250, I think, would have been the first one. That really monstrous sampler.
Oh, the K250.
Yeah, K250.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking the Korg SP250. But yeah, the K250, I think, was the first sampler that Kurzweil released.
Right.
And really.
Way back when.
Yeah, way back when.
Huge, beastly thing. But the K2000 kind of started the lineage of this synthesizer built-in workstation kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure it goes K250, K2000, 2500, 2600, and then they stopped the line for about, I mean, over a decade, really. So this is the first in the K2000 line, I think in the past 14 years. They had kind of carried over some of the vast architecture into the PC3, PC4, Forte. Right. It's a lot to kind of keep up with and wrap your head around.
Yeah, always.
But yeah, this is, I guess, kind of the latest iteration of the K2000 vast series of programmable synths from Kurzweil.
And I've spent the last 30 minutes sitting down messing with it, and it's really cool. It's got some great sounds. What I like most about it is pianos. Electric pianos are great, and I think maybe the things you always associate with being really top-notch from Kurzweil, the pianos, electric pianos, orchestral kind of stuff. Yeah, string stuff is really neat.
Yeah, and it's funny because I kind of wish we maybe would have waited a little bit longer, but we actually disassembled a K2000 yesterday, so it would have been nice to have the two to compare. And the model that we disassembled was the orchestral version, so it had the orchestral ROMs.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows you like how much Kurzweil has stuck to their guns as far as, you know, this is our flagship product and this is what we produce and this is really the strengths that it has.
Yeah. Let's make some noises on it. This is just the first piano patch, a Bristol piano. And this has like, is it 128 voice polyphony or 256? I can't remember. One of those really big numbers.
Yeah.
And you think, well, I only got 10 fingers. But when you do, when you use that sustain pedal and, you know, that's when that polyphony really comes in handy. And one thing that I really was struck by on these pianos is when you play in the extreme ranges, you really get that, you get a uniqueness. I mean, everyone can kind of emulate the middle range of the pianos pretty well, but when you go down, I mean, that is stunningly realistic. And then the high notes. No, they just really sound good and so realistic to me. One thing we just discovered.
Yeah, as we were kind of setting up and playing it, and
yeah, this is definitely a first look because we've just sat down with this and started messing with it and hadn't really done much research with it, but I was playing and Carlos said, "Oh, there's a button that says variation. I wonder what that does." So in this patch, it adds string background to the piano. nice big polyphony again. But the cool thing is that variation button apparently is patch assigned so that on different programs it does different things. So let's just try something else. Let's pull up.
And so I should say, you know, right out of the box, I believe you get over 4 gigabytes of samples that are preloaded. It supports user uploadable samples, and I just really love those pianos.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Nice little brighter one. You want to try out that button?
Yeah.
Okay, same thing. Add some strings. All right. Electric pianos. I really like this one. Aged Tolex 77. So I guess that's like a sampled Fender Rhodes.
From 1977.
Yeah.
They went back in time.
That's got a lot of experience on it, and that's why the Tolex is aged. I love the responsiveness that you can get. You can play soft and pretty, and then you play hard and it really barks. Let's try some of these. Oh, this one's called Bark EP77.
So another thing I will say is that, you know, if you go under your global settings, you have a ton of different velocity responses, different curves. And so before Sam started playing it, I think it was set up with a linear response right out of the box. And I know, musically speaking, and the way our ears work, you don't tend to respond things in a linear fashion. Life isn't very linear. So I kind of tweaked the velocity settings a little bit and made it a little bit softer.
It feels good. And it's got a FTAR keypad. Hammer action. Yeah, each key has a weighted hammer that gets thrown, so the keypad feels really nice.
Let's see what variation does on that.
All right. Nice. And then what else was cool? Oh yeah, we get into the reed electric pianos. In other words, Wurlitzer. Nice sound. Oh, hit that button. I'm not sure what they did. Filter it down a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of laughing over here too because you probably won't be able to hear it at home, but this thing actually has quite a wide range, full frequency response. I have a keyboard stand over here with a quadra on it, and I can hear it kind of shaking the quadra.
Rattling some things. Yeah. Some cool clavs. Some great sounding organs. Let's see.
And on the organs, these are, you know, Kurzweil's famous KB3 tone wheel emulation organs.
So the sustain pedal kicks in the Leslie. Very cool.
Let's see what variation does on that.
All right. Okay, so you can control the Leslie there too. Nice.
Yeah, and then so with your assignable faders, these are actually drawbars, and you have visual feedback on the display. It shows you your footages as you change them in real time.
Yeah, that's cool. So. Hours of fun with that.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one I love the strings. So it's adding choir sound?
Yeah.
Nice. And where's the one I had a lot of fun with? Oh, Touch Thick Mix, I think. Yeah, it's got a real nice attack. And Batman.
Another thing that I really like is how they have the categories already laid out for you, kind of with those assignable touchpads.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy to jump around between different programs. Okay, I want a piano, I want an electric piano, I want a synthesizer.
True. Yeah, so you choose whatever category you want, pad, and then you can use the wheel to choose between the pads. And now, you turned me on to this over here, and I had big fun with that. Let's go back to electric piano. Steely Dino 77. And I guess these are pre-assigned with chords.
Mm-hmm, but they're also user assignable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instant Steely Dan there. Oops.
And so, I mean, this also has a built-in, you know, it's a built-in sequencer. You have an audio workstation at your fingertips, so if you wanted to, you could record that, loop it, and then overdub and layer things on top of that.
Yeah.
And I think we haven't shown probably one of the best features. Gotta have the touch strip.
Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. And yeah, you can do those end of or record.
Things that normal Rhodes can't do.
Yeah. And all right, the controls here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 9. So it's like, all right, 9 dry bar kind of thing. But each of these are set to different things. Like this last one right now is, yeah, reverb amount. So, and when you move the slider, it shows you up here that, all right, this is controlling reverb amount, and it's just so easy and quick to dial in stuff. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Lots of effects. Sounds great. Feels great. Yeah, just a really cool new product from Kurzweil.
And for as large as it is, I was really surprised at how light it is. You know, it's pretty easy to pick up and move around, compared to the K2700 I was working on the other day, which is almost 100 pounds.
I didn't try it, but oh yeah, that's not bad.
No. Class compliant, you know, audio interface with phantom power. You got the assignable stereo outs.
And it feels like it's built like a tank.
Yeah.
Really, really solid and sturdy. So yeah, even though I mean, it's a lot lighter than some of the older Kurzweil things, but those always felt, you know, this is
really well
solid,
built, robust.
and this has the solidity of those without so much weight. So, yeah, it feels great. So, yeah, Kurzweil K2700, 27,000's not released yet. No, I wasn't supposed to say that. No, I'm just kidding about that, of course. K2700 here in the showroom at Syntaur, if anyone's interested. But yeah, it's really a cool sounding keyboard and hours of fun to play on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so with that, you want to grab that mod wheel and we'll modulate it.